Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Curfew saves senior citizen from crash. 70-year-old Nehemiah Clark and his common-law wife, 64-year-old Faylene Collins, of Riley Bridge in Lucy, Hanover, are counting their blessings after a motor vehicle crashed inside their shop on Monday night. Clark says if it were not for the government-imposed night curfew, he would have been seated where the crash took place.
It occurred.
After 10 going to 11, somewhere around in time, right?
And you said you would have been sitting there?
I would have been sitting, I sit there almost 24/7. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I lock up at 8:25 when cashback going on. And I've been sitting there. If I go inside the kitchen, I come back inside. If I come inside the house and I go back, it's right there we're sitting. If I look behind the car, just see this stool mash up right there. You know, so I just see things that I don't know. I just hope for the best though.
Yes. So have you seen anybody for the vehicle since?
Yes, the father and the two sons was here this morning getting some stuff out of the car. So they went away. So them said the guy will come and pick the car up.
Like you're saying, if it wasn't for the curfew, you would have been inside the shop, you and your wife?
Yes, because we're not normally like 11:30, 12 o'clock. For everybody moving freely, you know. There's no curfew. But through the curfew system now with the corona thing, we have to go follow the protocols, you know, what they have over here. So that's what the thing said.
Central Kingston Member of Parliament Donovan Williams on Tuesday made an emotional appeal to parents in the Violent Play constituency to play their part in steering their sons away from criminal activities. He made the appeal while visiting Tex Lane following the killing of 6-year-old girl in an alleged accidental shooting incident on Monday afternoon.
What I want to say to the parents, take control of your boys. Take control of your teenagers. Get them in school. Come to me at my MP office. I will assist with the school fees or the CXC, whatever fees. If they want training, we'll assist. There is a way out. Parents, take control of your boys. Keep them under your wings. Pray for them. That's the only way we're going to save these boys and our community. Get them away, extricate them from this love affair with the guns.
That's true.
And the gangs. That's the only way we're going to save our community. Cooperate with the police. Talk. Don't wait till it come to your house, to your door. Then you get up and you talk. Talk before it happens. Seek help and intervention. We have to save our communities. It cannot continue like this. There are decent, law-abiding people living in Upper Tex Lane and Tex Lane and Central Kingston for that matter.
That's true.
There are decent, law-abiding people all over. Bright children. Rescue the ones who are vulnerable, please. Else we're going to lose this generation.
That's true.
Lose our community. And we're going to lose our country. We have to rescue the boys.
That's true.
Come, parents, take your responsibility serious.
Father mourns after infant school teacher gunned down in St. Elizabeth. Veron Simmet, father of the deceased primary school teacher Chantel Simmet, is seeking justice for the cold-blooded murder of his 28-year-old daughter, who was killed in Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth. Simmet says he blames Jamaica's justice system for this and other tragedies. The young teacher was attacked near the Sandybank Infant School compound at about 7:40 a.m.
This morning, the last thing she said to me, Daddy, pass me school shoes. She not even said Daddy, she said Dad. Pass me school shoes, you know. Right? I just imagine when she feel the first shot this morning, she must have said to herself, Daddy kill me now. Almighty God, is this real? Is this real? And the problem I'm having, Jamaica have no justice system to correct this problem. Right? If the government did a set stiffer penalty for men who kill, or you caught with an illegal firearm, put 50 years on it, and when you're caught with murder, put you away forever. Nobody with no lawyer, and no this, and no that, and no Indicom for Indicom a total trouble and failure in this country. Mr. Prime Minister, me I ask you this take place in a Treasure Beach. Andrew Holness, step up to the plate. Minister of Justice, step up to the plate and say enough is enough, right? And send a message to the criminals of this country. Them a kill people and a get way. The Justice Minister, Mr. Zika, where you want to name, you need to step up the plate. I saw them let out a man, Judge give him 12 years later, he admit that he do the murder. Double murder at Westmoreland. And they want to reduce the sentence from 12 to 10. He should go forever. Don't know, appeal shouldn't do this. So what happened? The people who died didn't get no justice. It's only the government have the right in this country. And in the country can investigate police. They have the police hands tied. Mr. Prime Minister, let go the police, them hand, let them do them work. Right? Who gonna bring back my daughter? Loving, kind teacher. Just a walk and murder, and when they see people will pull the cover up and this and that. And you as a police officer, you can talk about you can't see people and can search people. So why? You have the authority to do so. So if they go and find out what these two men were doing there, they might have caught up with them. Why they didn't do that? Why they didn't do that? No justice. You cannot give the police any information. So where will this go? It's not going nowhere. This not going nowhere. Right? We don't do nobody nothing. Nothing. And people just walk and kill people. No man. Something have to do about this.
Can you tell us a little bit about your daughter, the type of person she was?
Quiet. Hardly talk. If you don't tell her howdy, she don't answer you. That's why sometimes we wonder how she really teach in the classroom. She's so quiet, but she teach. Fairly good teacher. Loving, kind. That picnic will take what she have and give it to you. Right? She was in the States with me the other day before school opened, and she amount of crayons and food and she go to school and the kids don't have it. She can't give them one. Eh? She don't talk, I don't think she have a boyfriend. She's 28 years old, don't live no life. As I said, they don't keep no company. Church, school, church, school, church, school. That's it. Period. Home then day. And I wake up this morning to see my daughter walk out alive. I know she's not coming back home today. And the killers are out here.
This morning we woke up to the very sad news of the gruesome killing of young 28-year-old Chanel Smith from Sandybank here in Treasure Beach. The information, it is very shocking to us. Very shocking, because this community is a community that is usually very calm, very quiet. We don't hear about a lot of crime over in here, and I'm very concerned about the citizens in the community, because just going through and speaking to a number of them over the last hour and a half, they're expressing to me that they're very fearful. I hear that one shop operator, whenever they hear a bike passing, they are still traumatized because they think that it is the gunmen who are coming back. I really just want to call on the powers that be to give the police force in St. Elizabeth, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, it is obvious that they are in need of more crime fighting material in the parish. I understand that they could do very well with more patrol vehicles, so I understand that they may very well be very strapped. They may be strapped in terms of the terrain that they have to cover, the manpower that is needed. And I at this time, I feel the pain. I feel the pain of the police officers who have been calling for some form of motivation. Recently we heard about the officers going to court for back money. And I suspect that they may be demotivated in carrying out their work. But I know that at this time, we have to give the police officers in St. Elizabeth as much assistance that we can give them to fight and tackle this monster in crime that we're facing. St. Elizabeth
is normally a very quiet place as it relates to crime, but over recent times, we have been seeing these sort of gruesome murders. Just probably a couple of years ago, we heard, or probably a year ago, we heard about a lady who normally transport students to the Santa Cruz prep school. She was gunned down, and I'm saying enough is enough. We have to, as a community, lend our support to the police officers, and the government has to know once and for all, give the police officers what they need to fight crime, because today it is somebody family that we are hearing of. Tomorrow it will be at our own doorsteps, and enough is enough, and it has to stop.
Mitchell notes more NHT benefits for healthcare workers.
Money is a big part of it, a major part, I can tell you this. And until nurses in this country get paid better, we're going to have this problem.
I think the more money is an important variable, but not the only one. The more money is an important variable, but not the only one. My own research has shown that healthcare professionals require security of tenure, and we have reclassified several thousand healthcare positions, primarily in nursing, over the last 3 years to give them permanent status as opposed to contract labor. The second is working environment. You've heard of the infrastructure development. And the third is remuneration. And remuneration is an issue. There's no doubt that they deserve more. Of course, that has to be reconciled with the public system, and the Ministry of Finance, and by extension, the Cabinet negotiates these positions, which is now taking place for a number of these workers. But I believe that we have to look at it as a package, and I think that as much as we try to give as much as possible in salaries, we're also making a valiant effort to improve the working conditions and to provide the security of tenure, which I think as a package will incentivize and hopefully cause many of them to stay here rather than migrate.
I just wanted to say something about the nursing issue, because there are different reasons why nurses may leave, but money is a major factor, I can tell you this. I graduated from med school in '89. I'm old. And I remember when I was doing internship, the first month I was going to the bank on campus at UWI, and I gave a nurse a lift, and we're talking, and she told me what her paycheck was, and I thought she was joking, literally. I really thought she was joking, and when she showed it to me, I was horrified. That was '89. It's still not good. Many nurses can't even afford to buy a car to transport themselves. So many are still using public transport. And I know one who got assaulted the other day after being dropped off by from a bus. Nurses very often have to do other things apart from just nursing duties, like lifting patients, transporting patients. And money is a big part of it, a major part, I can tell you this. And until nurses in this country get paid better, we're going to have this problem. And it affects the whole health sector, because when you have an experienced nurse working in a hospital, and she has the experience and she's used to that space, and then she leaves, and then new people come. You have to start training them again. They don't have the experience, they don't know the place, and it affects patient care, both in the public and the private sector.
Howard Mitchell, what's the fix?
That shouldn't be addressed to the minister, but nevertheless, the fix is this. As he rightly said, and drawing on my experience, the fix is not just about more money, because we can never compete with the established global markets that Jamaicans can easily access. But the fix also has to look at a holistic placement of public health in a more important way than it currently is. So that, for instance, I was chairman of the National Housing Trust at one stage. We have to look at the National Housing Trust, perhaps providing accommodation at hospital points or close to for hospital workers, nurses, doctors, and some ancillary staff, so that it takes the burden of transportation off of them, transportation and security. Yeah. We have to look at recognizing that the public health worker, along with the security workers, along with all the more important, the people who are more critical at the point of first delivery, get access, perhaps on an easier basis, to some of the benefits.
Are you not setting up the NHT for more criticisms if you're going to be picking?
No, well, what I've been trying to set up the NHT for years is a re-examination of its purpose. right? And that's what we need to do. We need to take an honest look at the National Housing Trust after 45 years and say, what's the purpose, right? So I'm just saying that accommodation is housing, okay? And that there are people who will never want to own a home, but who need a break. And there are people who, if they get a break in their employment, the nurses and doctors and ancillary staff, can save some money towards buying a house eventually when they perhaps shift from that critical point. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that public health, it's clear to me personally that public health encompasses more than just being at the end process of a crisis. It involves antisocial behaviors that cause car accidents. It involves antisocial behaviors that cause domestic violence. It involves mental therapy. And those are what we have to do as a state, as a society, and as a people, is re-examine how we place public health within our priority order.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.